Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Happy November, horror freaks. Welcome back to an episode of ScreamCity. I'm your host, Monica.
And I'm Jessica. And guys, y'all should see the smiles on our faces right now.
We are extremely happy.
Excited to talk about Terrifier 2 today. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a good one because it is still fresh in our minds because we literally watched it about a week ago together in theaters. So this is going to be fun.
This is going to be a fun show. Okay, really quickly, not only did we watch the film, but we actually got noticed by David Howard Thornton,
AKA
Art the Clown, on Instagram. And if you follow us on Instagram, I think you might know because I posted a couple of screenshots. So basically all he really did was like our post. He liked it in our message, and I think he liked it like the actual post too.
Nice.
And it was one of the promotions that we were posting for Art for our last Terrifier episode.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you on my point of view. Okay, I was passing out from, I was so tired. And all of a sudden, I get a text from Monica in all caps. And it just says, bitch. And I woke up immediately.
Really quickly.
I knew it was what she was about to text back was going to be good.
It was a doozy. And I was noticing because I was on our Instagram. And so I was, going through our notifications and stuff. And I was like, Am I seeing this correctly? Because I saw it in our message that he replied to a message. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? And I really thought I was going crazy. I think it was 1 a.m. or something? I don't remember.
I think it was
probably actually a lot earlier. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, he noticed us. I was so sweet. Awesome. I love him so much. It's now a flex. But he's also really sweet. I was watching a live earlier of him on Instagram, and he had said, I try to respond and I try to do as much as I can to engage with you guys. He's like, it's just recently it's been a lot harder because of how much, of how many messages he's been getting because of Terrifier 2. So,
but the fact that he's not ours,
seriously, and I was like, oh my
awesome.
God, that's really sweet. But so
thank you,
David, for noticing us.
We will see you next year.
We will see you next year.
Mark our words.
Mark our words.
Yeah.
We will kill you next year. That's what he says. He's like, I will kill you.
I love that.
Right? Okay, so for those of you who haven't watched Terrifier 2, we want to warn you that we will be spoiling the hell out of this movie. So, Terrifier 2 takes place during Halloween, and Art goes back to Miles County to terrorize a girl and her younger brother. And that's basically the plot.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The plot here, I don't know. I'm not surprised that, people who are watching this in theaters were not aware that there was a part 1, but at the same time, I have a lot of questions because I'm like, there's a 2 in the title.
Right.
Meaning this is the second part. And then I'm like, at least find the first film to watch and then maybe, watch the second one in theaters. I don't know. But yeah.
I agree. But listen, there's a lot to unpack about this movie.
A lot.
We have so many favorites within this movie, and we might be a little biased about it.
Just a little bit.
Can't help it. Okay, we're huge fans.
I can't help that I'm literally in love with Art.
Hey, that was Monica.
I am. Well, I mean,
no, I'm just kidding. But no.
I just love
we'll
Art.
Get into that.
I can't tell if I'm in love with Art as a character or if I'm in love with David Howard Thornton.
I think it's both.
I honestly think it's both. I think I have a little bit of a crush.
Yeah,
it's very unhealthy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But we'll always be respectful. That's one thing.
Of course.
Real quick before we get into the actual movie itself.
Yeah.
Let's get some life stuff out of the way. Monica, what have you been up to?
What
are you going to be up to?
Let's get the obvious one out of the way. I chopped my hair off.
You sure
and I dyed it.
Did.
Yeah, I did. That was really fun.
She looks great.
It's giving 90s Final Girl is what I've gotten. And Jessica said I look like Como la Flor.
She does look a little bit like Como la Flor.
I bet if I do the makeup and everything. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was really looking for a change, and I'm happy that I did it. It's a little shorter than what I wanted, but I don't hate it.
It's cute.
I don't hate it at all. Other than that, I'm leaving to California this Saturday.
Boo, but yay.
Boo, but yay, right? And we're going to Halloween Horror Nights, and I am extremely excited. I've already told Jessica that because we've spent so much money on an express pass, that we will be going into every haunted house that they have. And I think they have like 6 or 7. And I will be recording everyone so that Jessica can have proof that I did haunted houses.
Just some peace of mind.
Yeah,
they actually, I'm a believer, but whatever.
Right. They actually let you record inside the haunted houses at Universal in California.
Oh.
I'm definitely going to record the Halloween one because we just talked about that episode.
Of course.
And I'll be recording La Llorona.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one will be cool. And Killer Clowns.
Yes, ma'am.
Because classic.
Come on.
Yeah. Enough about me. What about you?
Surprisingly, nothing going on.
Surprisingly, okay. Love.
I need to go vote soon.
You
First time voter.
You do.
I'll update you guys when I do that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's something that I'm missing, but I can't quite pinpoint. Though, I mean, besides the fact that we went to go watch Terrifier.
The fact that we went to go watch Terrifier last week, that was a peak in its own. That was an amazing time.
It was a great experience.
It was a really great experience. Let's just go ahead and jump into talking about that. I think, watching this together, because normally we would start off with talking about our first time watching it, but we experienced that together. Something that Jessica and I both had mentioned was the crowd that we watched it with was like
amazing.
the ideal crowd to watch a horror movie like this with. I loved that they were actually laughing, and I think they were laughing like at and with Art at all of his mannerisms and the way that he was like killing people. I'm sure there was a couple people who were laughing at the movie and being like, this is so cheesy, but it's like, I don't care. Because it is supposed to be a little over exaggerated and very like out there, and that's exactly what this movie is. No one walked out of our theater. So to the people who we watched it with, troopers. I will say they're a little fake for not staying till the very, very end.
Yes, which we will get into that.
We're going to get into that a little bit later, but basically at the beginning of the movie, before the movie starts, they tell you to stay until the end of the credits because there is a behind the scenes and talk and interview with Damien and with David, and Jessica and I were literally
the only ones left. And it was a good, was it a 10-minute?
I would say it was like a good 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes, and we were just standing there watching the whole thing.
Writing
down notes.
We wrote down notes. Like, y'all should have seen us watching this movie in general. Like, we every time we saw something, we would look at each other, and we were sharing a pen, so we were just like passing the pen back and forth.
Which, really funny story, I found another pen in my bag.
Wow, fake.
But you know what?
It's fine. It was a bonding moment.
And I'm pretty sure that the people next to us were like, are they critics? Like,
right? And we're like, no. We're a very small podcast that just loves horror.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So I truly appreciate the fact that no one walked out. But I will say, we made the mistake of ordering food.
Listen, the only horror about my experience watching this film were my cold-ass mozzarella sticks. That was a hate crime.
Yeah.
That was awful.
And first spoiler, the beginning scene, I lost my appetite.
It starts off with no hesitation on gore.
I had a good 3 fries, and I was like, nope.
You're like, I'm good.
Good, actually. Thank you.
I appreciate it. No, yeah, it starts off very gore, but I thought it was great. Yeah, the fucking mozzarella sticks that I had were awful. I was asking Jessica, I was like, are your fries cold? And she's like, no. And I was like, dude, my shit, you can tell it's been sitting out for at least an hour. It was awful. And the marinara was also like, you can tell they just pulled it out of the fridge. And I wasn't expecting it to be cold because normally they serve you like warm marinara sauce. That was not the case. Anyhoozles. All right, so let's start unpacking this movie piece by piece. Again, since we watched it, we kind of just it talked about our experience. But did you have expectations for this movie? And if you did they get met?
I had a lot of faith in Damien and David.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any huge I will say I was, and yes, I was expecting more gruesome deaths, and 1000% did they get, they got met. And I appreciate that. I honestly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that we had a little bit more of a story.
Yeah.
In here, in this film.
Yeah.
I know in the first one it's just like, two friends and all
right.
that. But in this one, we actually get a somewhat bigger story with a family.
I think that's one of the things that Damien had said in his interview when we were watching in the theater is that they put out Art the Clown in Terrifier 1 just to kind of test the waters and being like, is this someone that you guys would like? Is this a character that can, people can build off of and that you guys would genuinely enjoy and everything. And then once people kind of responded to it, he was like, okay, like, yeah, I think we can kind of, go a little bit further. And that's when he was like, once I realized that people actually liked him and people were trying to recreate his costumes and everything, or his costume, he was like, then we can make a part 2 where we start introducing a protagonist that you guys would actually root for and like all of this. And I'm like, I'm rooting for the antagonist the entire time.
1000%.
The fact that I'm on Art's side the entire way and I almost shed a tear with the ending.
Yeah.
We'll spoil it a little bit later, but yeah.
No, again, I had a huge amount of faith in both Damien and David, and of course everyone else who worked on this movie.
Even the coffee runners.
Even the coffee runners. And they did not fail.
They didn't.
Thank you guys.
And I know they're proud. They should
100%.
be. 100%. They deserve everything.
100%.
Like all the good stuff that's coming.
Favorite scene. Can I just say the whole movie?
Okay, so from here on out, we're entering spoilers. Yes. So with
final warning,
if you do not like spoilers, please get out of this. This is now a
spoiler zone.
A full spoil zone. So if you don't like it, move on. If you do like it, continue. All right, go ahead.
Favorite scene.
The whole movie. Yes, 100%. End of podcast.
Okay, end of podcast. I honestly, the entirety of the costume shop scene. From
the entirety
to end. It's just great and comedic. The part where she's like, I think I left my bag downstairs, and Art cuts her off by slamming her bag on the counter. Like,
dude,
here,
that
bitch,
was
stop
so.
yeah,
he was like, quit forgetting your shit places, girl.
And of course, the glasses scene.
So we were right. That is one of our favorite scenes.
Yeah, we
thought
talked about it
too.
A couple episodes ago, and we were like, I feel like that's going to be my favorite scene. 100%.
It's so. I think it truly shows how fun this clown has with like just doing an everyday task.
Yeah, which is killing.
Which is killing for him.
No, yeah, and I was cracking up the whole time.
Dude, it was so funny.
And
and people were laughing at that too.
Yeah, I appreciated it. When we were zoomed in on Sienna's face, and you could just see him in the background, kind of blurred out. He's just trying on shit, and I'm just like,
shit on.
He's currently my profile picture on Twitter.
Same. Oh no, not on Twitter, but he's currently my wallpaper.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
And then favorite kill. Listen, I really liked Brooks. I liked how I wasn't expecting the acid until I heard Monica. She was like, "Oh." And I just kind of like put two and two together because we know, like, I know we see like a shot of him grabbing it at the corner. It was at the corners.
I think it was at the corners, yeah.
And then bam,
Boom.
But I will say, I don't know. I think mine's kind of lame, but I think mine is the coroners.
I don't think the coroner's kill is lame at all.
Well, yeah.
I think it shows you that if you are like
he's gonna make you suffer.
He's gonna make you suffer, and I think the thing about this film, the first kill that we see is picking up from the last movie, which is actually, which I'm gonna go into detail because it's actually one of my favorite scenes, like the opening scene by itself. It shows you that if you thought that he was done in the first film, like he's just going to continue and do more with this film. Yeah. There's a lot of eye stuff. There's a lot of brain.
Skin,
there's a lot of ripping
insides.
of the skin. There's so much that this clown does that I don't think people realize how crazy Damien and like David can go with like these ideas of killing. So I think the coroner's death is like really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's intense, and I think it's everything that is art.
Yep.
And I love it.
But I do think...
And I love how his name was in the background the entire time.
Yeah. I love it. But I did appreciate that it was the first death we see, like, straight into it.
That's what I said. I was like, they did not hesitate. Mercy. No mercy whatsoever. Not for the victim, not for the audience.
No.
They were like, we're pushing it in.
And I appreciate it 100%. I love when horror movies just start like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
When they start off gruesome. I think I mentioned this during our Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. With that first kill that we see, it goes straight into it, shows us no mercy,
not hesitate.
and I truly appreciate
I
that.
love it. It's get to the point, and it's like setting the pace.
100. Like, if this is the first scene,
oh, y'all don't want to know what's happening after.
No.
If you felt dizzy with the first one, you will pass out with the second
100%.
or third. If you get that far.
All right, what about you, Monica?
So I don't think people exaggerated when they said that this movie was gory and that people were passing out and vomiting, because I really do think that Damien and forgive me, and I don't know his name, and I feel like I should because I've heard it plenty of times, but there's a co-producer or a co-director who was helping Damien build these prosthetics, and they did amazing with everything that they built for this film, and like all the blood and gore. I don't even want to know how many gallons of blood that they used for this, or like fake blood for this film. Watch them be like, who said it was fake? Oh. And I had my expectations when I saw this movie, but I had them when I heard in an interview with David saying, expect part 1 but on steroids. So I was like, great. I'm gonna watch this with the expectation of Art just going fucking crazy. And that's exactly what I got, and I was very happy.
But if you're able to make us feel some sort of fun and yet comfort
with something that excruciating
extreme,
and that like extreme, you've done your job.
You're doing something right.
You're doing something great, and I think I can match this. The way that I felt watching this film is the same experience that I had watching it, the 2017 remake, and I was excited to see. My expectations for it weren't like super high. I was just ready to see what they had come up with. I was not disappointed. I'm not kidding when I tell you I watched this film in theaters like 6 times, and that will be the exact same thing for Terrifier 2.
100%.
Yes. Guys, half of what you make in the box office will be because of me.
Yeah.
Because of how many times I will watch this in theater.
No, but they've been doing good.
They've been doing great. And David had mentioned that in his interview that this movie was only supposed to be in theaters for 3 days. They are on week 4.
Yes, ma'am.
That is insane. And
we are proud of you guys.
We are so proud of you guys. Like, us as like fans who, followed you from All Hallows Eve and all, like, from his very first like short film, and now doing Terrifier 2. And I don't even want to know where Damien's like head and ideas are going for Terrifier 3.
Oh,
like, because I know there's gonna be a third one. There has to be a third one. And I don't want to know. I just want to see.
I just want to see.
I just want to watch. Like, I want to be in a room though with him just spitballing ideas. Bouncing off. Like, how could we kill this person? How could we up Allie's kill? Like, it's shit like that is insane. Moving on to fave scene. Yes. I'm going to have to say with any scene that Art was in. Because
100%.
that man had me dying.
Yes.
Immensely.
Again, with who were we talking about? Was it Art that we were like we were talking about Art. He's just a comedic genius.
He's a comedic genius. This man is so funny.
Is like not just David, but Art himself, obviously.
Yeah.
But props to David for bringing him to life. You know what I mean?
He did great. He did amazing.
Amazing.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Damien for creating him, and David for being
him.
Which, again, in the interview, I mentioned it in the first episode that we talked about Terrifier, that I was like, you know why David is so good at like playing Art? Because he was a mime. No, he wasn't. Oh. He was not. Because the interviewer was like, hey, I don't know if this is true, but people are saying that you studied like mime before. He goes, nope. He goes, no. He's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where that started and I don't know where it came from. He's like, but no, he got a lot of inspiration from the actor who plays Robbie Rotten in Lazy Town, I believe. And I can double check because I recorded the interview, and he had said that like he had called him when he got the role for Art, and he was like, hey, like this is kind of what they want going for Art, and I'm going based off of the first guy who played Art, and this is what I want to do with it. And he was like, okay, great. And he gave him like tips on how to do like silent and like how to exaggerate the eyes and how to do like movements. And he gives him so much credit, and he's like, I just know how to kind of watch and then recreate and like mimic. He's like, so that's just literally what I did.
Well,
and I was
awesome.
like, so you're good at your job,
Basically.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, just say that you're good at your job.
Just say that you're amazing. Like, that's fine. But yeah, and I just thought that was so funny because I was like, bruh, we were literally talking about that, and I gave a fake fact. I hate that. I hate the internet. Back to my favorite scene. I had an extremely hard time choosing a favorite scene because I really did enjoy two different scenes a lot. And the scene where Art is washing his laundry in the beginning, not because he gets naked, okay, but because the fact that he was doing such a mundane, like, everyday task, but in an art way. And it was hilarious to me. We also get introduced to a new character, the little pale girl, and I love how the entire scene, you're watching it and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
No, when I tell you...
And I loved every minute.
Tell you, I would look at Monica and
we
she would
were
just be like, I would just, I'm like, did we walk into the right room?
Like, what is this?
But it's okay. It's the element of surprise.
And it's so funny. And what I think I was even funnier is that the little pale girl is not someone that everyone can see, obviously. It looks like only him, and Sienna, and Jonathan can see. So it doesn't really look like anybody else can see her. So I'm really curious as to see what they're going to do with that because I'm like,
interesting.
But it was so funny watching him just sit there naked playing patty cake, and the owner, or I don't know if it was an owner or a customer, but they were sitting asleep, and then they wake up to him like sitting naked, and then he's like playing patty cake with no one, and it was just so funny. And then obviously later, like, he gets killed and shit, but I love it because he, first of all, he washes his clothes. Good for him.
Clean guy.
He said hygiene.
He
said, I have to take care of my clothes. They can't stay bloody.
Right.
And then he kills the owner or whoever was sitting there watching him, and he's mopping. He's mopping up the blood. He's very self-aware, and he's like, I make a mess. It's okay.
Y'all don't gotta pay me for it.
That's fine. It was more of a public place, though, so maybe that's why he cleaned up after himself, because I know damn well he did not clean up Allie's room.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. But also because it would have taken forever.
That's true.
And he had some killings to do, you know what
That's
I mean?
true. He kind of had to move on.
Yeah.
He had to move on to the next kill.
If I had time, totally.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Throw the sheets in the washer.
Yeah.
Throw that. Yeah, 100%. Repaint the walls.
Repaint the walls.
It was either between that or the scene where he's begging for candy with Allie, like right before he kills her. The scene was so adorable. You can't say that man is not adorable.
Listen.
First of all, how could you tell him no?
I was literally gonna say, like, what is wrong with giving a man some candy, especially in costume? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's in costume. He went
he's
out
in
of his
spirit.
way. Yeah.
Like, give him some candy.
Leave the man alone.
You're never too old to trick or treat.
Never.
But listen, if you are not in a costume, maybe get it. Maybe understand.
You know, but he went all out.
But he had the makeup. He had the costume.
He had the bag.
He had the expressions. Like, he was just...
Like, you should have just done the
it
Halloween
saved
thing.
You.
Yeah. But no, you had to be rude and also throw candy at him.
She did not do one of Sam's rules.
She didn't do one of Sam's rules. She didn't want to give candy. And to think that he did not follow, or she did not follow one of Sam's rules.
I know.
Awful. Hideous.
And that's why you do follow them.
And that's why you die.
Yeah.
So Art is also protecting the spirit of Halloween. So good for him.
Good for him.
But yeah, it was either, where he's begging for candy, and then literally after killing the mom, where he uses the mom's head as a candy bowl. I was howling.
Man.
I was like, no, he did not.
This man needs psychiatric help.
I think Damien and David need psychiatric help.
Damien.
The fact that they think of shit like this, oh my gosh.
I honestly, I like to consider myself a creative person.
But goddamn.
David
and Damien, what the hell? And I'll say it from time and time again, is that this clown is artistic. Mm-hmm. He is sadistic and innovative.
Yeah.
And I love him. So much. And I think he's great. And then when he slaps the kid for taking one more piece, taking one for more.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
For taking
more than one piece of candy. Yeah.
He's like such a dad.
And then he goes, bye. He's such a dad. He's like, leave some for the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, come on now.
Yeah. And then the way he laughs, well, obviously is silent, but like the way he's just like, as far as favorite kill, I might have to go with the employee, Ricky, from the costume shop. I think it's one that not easily gets forgotten, but I feel like because Allie's was so extravagant, and then you have the coroners that's like right at the beginning, and then you kind of slowly start to be like, oh yeah. But I loved Ricky's. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
The way and then like after killing him, the way he stands like in the doorway or in the hallway with all the other figures like holding his head and is like,
because the kid is like,
he's like, oh man, like, oh, they're closed. He goes, oh, look at that, it's
Yeah.
cool. He goes, he sticks his tongue out.
I love him.
I just thought it was so funny the way that he wanted to buy the horn, and that the guy was like, all right, let's get you paid out so I can go home.
Yep.
And then he's like digging through his trash bag, and he's just like taking out all this stuff, and the guy's like, are you serious right now? Like, hurry up. And then that he like, when he pounds the table to like hurry up, and then Art is like, and he's like, and he just slaps him with a bottle.
Finally, moving on more into the episode, before we start talking about the movie and some interesting facts and behind the scenes, I wanted to make a quick little note, which is, if you don't like gore, this movie is not for you. And we would not recommend it.
Not at all.
As much as Monica and I, love this film and would like for everyone to experience it and watch it, if gore is not your cup of tea, it's okay if you want to skip out on it. Like, we won't judge you. But if you are willing to watch it, we would highly recommend watching the first one if you haven't already. Now, Monica and I do like gore, but there are some crazy people who say, like, oh, it wasn't that bad, especially talking about, like, Allie's death.
I have seen a couple people.
And I'm like, come on.
Like,
you know,
dude, you're literally just trying to be that one person that's like, I don't like it. Oh, that was a boring film. I was like, okay, well, no one cares about your opinion.
Yeah. Like, first of all,
be quiet.
First of all, shut up. No. Like, first of all, no, even us as, like, gore horrors understand and we realize that Allie's death was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was gruesome. Monica and I, personally, we enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I did. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it was creative. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But again, if it's just not your cup of tea, don't watch it.
Just skip it. There's a lot of other films that you can start off with.
And we won't like judge you for it, because guess what? I'm the same way with psychological movies.
Yeah.
So, so nothing too crazy. But finally moving on to the fun facts.
Yeah.
And some of the behind the scenes. Before the movie began, there were some credits that said, like, stay till the end for behind the scenes. Monica and I were the only ones who stayed, and even the workers were watching Monica and I just stand in the theater, like, recording the whole thing. Like, they were like, if y'all don't get the fuck out, we are trying to go home.
We were trying to clean and go home, because I think it was like 11 or midnight by the time we got out.
Midnight.
Yeah, that's true.
But we are devoted fans.
We are devoted fans, and we
had to stay.
We stayed. We were the only two in the theater. We did get up, and we were watching it standing up, but it was I was very like, oh my god, that's so cool.
No, I thought it was a great concept, because I don't know why more movies don't do this, but
I thought it was actually cool,
I think,
too.
like getting at just freshly, you just freshly saw this movie, and you have questions.
I was gonna say, and I think if you are someone who struggles with sometimes watching something so deep or something a little very extreme, and then you're like, oh, like that was a lot for me. And I think this interview that they gave at the end kind of broke that fourth wall and was like, hey, like, just to remind you it's fake.
Yeah.
But just know that we worked a lot.
Yeah.
We worked very hard for it to look like this. And I think it's cool. And I that's right. I agree. I think a lot of movies should start including, like, little interviews or a little bit more behind the scenes, like, after the credit type thing. That way, like, it's just something a little extra, like, here, you know, whatever.
I think I would truly appreciate them, especially, knowing how I react to some movies where where sometimes I get too into it,
Yeah.
and I can't tell the difference between real life and, you know, the movie.
The movie, yeah.
I think it really helps you kind of sort of get out of that trance.
100%.
And I truly appreciate it. Personally, I don't think I needed it for
I don't think so either.
This movie,
but it also helps for those who are genuine fans too.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we would have gotten something for like Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends or, you know, like things like that. Even if the movie wasn't that great, I think people would have still enjoyed to see like the behind the scenes and, you know, things like that, or someone's interview. And yeah, I think it was really good. People were about to walk out before, like, as soon as the credits started rolling, people were walking out, but they stopped mid-stairs, and they stayed to watch, like, that could possibly be a sneak peek of Terrifier 3, which, that is a whole thing to digest on its own. That was an intense 30...
Most there were a lot of confusing moments, but that was... Monica and I were just looking at each other.
We were like, what?
The
fuck? I love the what the fuck moments I get out of this film. Yeah. I think it's great. But we were just really excited, and we appreciate the workers not kicking us out.
Yeah, I was actually afraid that they were going to be like,
yeah,
okay, guys.
or like not turning it off.
But another thing, I think he said in the interview, the idea of the little pale girl, he said he had like an idea in the back of his head, but the Halloween before they started filming, he was being tagged in a lot of photos of girls recreating Art's costume, and thought that it was so dope that he thought, I need to recreate this. But he doesn't give much detail, and neither does the movie, on who she is exactly. I feel like there's a lot of maybe holes in this specific plot, but it doesn't matter. It sounds like they're still trying to piece things together themselves. So. Yeah,
I think they're still trying to, you know, I think he even said, he was like, yeah, you know, I was just trying to work with whatever we had, and, you know, trying to like do an ode to like all different kinds of films and things like that. And I thought it was interesting too, because the little pale girl's, I mean, yeah, I think she's supposed to be kind of a spitting image of like Art. We do get a very small detail, because we just know that she died in the circus, or died, right? It was like a circus or something like that.
But we don't know if Art was the one. I think it
that a girl dies,
but it was like pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, something like that. So I mean, it could have, maybe he's the one that killed her, and she's like the one that's haunting him, but he, you know, I don't know. But I also don't know what the connection is to Sienna and Jonathan seeing her too.
Some characters, like some new characters, personally, sometimes for me, I don't think need a specific plot or backstory.
Yeah, because you're just still kind of getting to know, like.
So I feel like I didn't really need one for the little pale girl, but
maybe in part 3.
Yeah, I would say it would be interesting to know who or what she is.
So I was watching again the live on Instagram with David. He was mentioning a couple stories from set, and one of the, you know, because the interviewer was like, what are like some funny or scary stories that you have from being on set, whether it was from the first film or second? And he had said that someone actually, for the second movie, that someone had actually called the cops on him when he was walking down the street in his costume in blood.
Oh no.
And then when the cops showed up, it was a woman, and so he was like in the middle of filming the laundromat scene where he was naked.
Oh no.
So he was like, oh fuck. And then that Damien told him what he had said, oh David, let's mess with her, and he's like, no. It's like automatically, no, we're not doing that.
We're not trying to get in trouble with
exactly. And that the lady, you know, the cop came in and was like, hey, like, we got a call about a clown covered in blood. And then he like is sitting, you know, with the newspaper on his, like, you know, on his lap, and he like kind of tilts over and is like, hi, that's me. And then she was like, oh yeah, she's like, I'm gonna guess you guys are like filming a movie or something. He's like, yeah, like exactly that. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, it's okay or whatever. And like, he's just like, it was just so
never to be seen again.
And that cop was never to be seen again because he killed her. He threw her in the laundry.
Yeah.
In the laundromat.
That would be an interesting kill. Just saying, Damien. Hey, put us on the
the idea list.
Put us in the writing room.
Right, love that. Yeah, and it was just really funny.
Well, one of the facts that David said as well was sort of the behind the scenes of Allie's kill. He said that they were in the middle of filming this scene when the pandemic hit, and they didn't know when they would be able to film again. So Damien took it as an opportunity to basically expand on her kill. And he definitely expanded something.
Yeah.
And he wanted to take it a little bit further. So he made all types of prosthetics for her. And they made sure that this scene was everything it needed to be and more. And man, they did it, because even I was feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
This scene, this kill, I think it's time to we kind of start talking about this kill. It was something.
The way that I know, yeah. So like everything that we see is Damien's doing, and Damien, and again his partner in crime who helped him build all of these prosthetics and the animatronic, but there's very minimal CGI that we see in this movie, which I think makes the kills even worse because they're so gory. And so they're like, it's an actual prosthetic that they're, stabbing into and blood coming out and everything. And even the body that we see, that's a whole animatronic that they built. And so it's crazy that it moved and everything. They CGI'd like half of her face to kind of show that she still has like an eye and like half her mouth. But dude, the fact that they built something like that to film, again, those like 3 seconds of her talking. I'm gonna be honest, I might sound like a little bit of a fake fan. Most of the time, like, I closed at least one eye. I feel like you have to. Like, that's not just something.
It's
again, like,
it's not a very light thing at all.
Damien and David, you can deny it all you want. I think you have a part of art in you now. And there's no way.
Yeah. Which, listen, half of me is kind of scared to meet him.
First time I was like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, like,
it's just David.
Yeah, it's just David. I don't know who it is going to be next.
I don't know who I'm meeting at this convention that I'm going to next year. David, you're a little scary now.
Yes.
But
still would be an honor to re-meet you.
100%.
Very excited.
100%.
But yeah. Oh, right. The one thing I wanted to mention is that during Allie's death, I heard a lot, and I think you were the first one that I heard, when she like looked up and said like mom or something like that. All I heard was aww, because it was truly an emotional.
Yeah, that was pretty sad because she does say, she's like, mom, she calls out for her. It's pretty sad.
Oh my god,
yeah,
it was heart wrenching, honestly.
And of course Art is in the back just laughing.
Yeah, fucking crazy ass. But anyway,
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like it's kind of fair to say that Allie's kill is the new Dawn's. Dawn's will always be OG and Queen for what she did and what they put her through, right? But because it's also what made Art look even more like a maniac. But Allie's kill, that just made him go beyond. He's part of the devil. He's a demon.
He has surpassed.
I think sadistic is the best way to describe this clown because he has so much fun. He laughs at everyone's pain. Every time he kills someone, he's like, so funny.
I think I sent this to you, but there was a really cute scene of Elliot Fullman, not seen at all. It's a TikTok. Of a TikTok of Elliot Fullman, who plays Jonathan, and Art, or David, dancing together. And I thought it was the cutest thing.
I thought it was adorable
ever.
Too. You did send me that. I thought it was so cute.
It's just such a vibe.
And then you also sent me, I can't remember if it was on TikTok, a TikTok of him showing or posting his audition tape for Jonathan, and I thought it was the cutest thing. And I actually went to his page, and he's been a horror fan for so long, and then he was like, I finally got a part in a horror movie, and I'm like,
manifesting.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like a really big, like, proud big sister.
I knew him from I knew he looked familiar, but I didn't know that he was the famous kid who interviewed Norman Reedus at a convention.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I know that.
And it's so funny because Norman Reedus does not. He was like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah, like Madonna.
Yeah,
like, are you kidding?
Are you fucking kidding? Like, no. It was so cute. And you mentioned it with Allie's death, but is there a scene that even for you that was a bit of like hard to watch that you were like, oh? Because when they say this movie is extreme, this movie is extreme.
again, obviously, Allie's was the hardest one for me to watch. It was just, I felt it. If you can feel it,
then
you know,
you did it.
then
Yeah,
you-
that's
you know.
true. That's true.
But I think the coroner's death, too. I think anything that involves an eye or anything sensitive, ears, nose, teeth,
Yeah.
eye,
Yeah. Like all
fingers.
the stuff that you're like, oh, I felt that.
very like sensitive things in your body. Those are, I have to close my eyes.
Things like that I do too.
Yeah.
Which again with Haunt, when she's stepping on the nail and like falls on the glue with her hands and then she shows him and I'm like,
And on Would You Rather, when he has to slice open
yes.
his eye, I'm
And
like,
which is why I understand a lot of the people who don't like or not don't like but can't watch Saw because that is all Saw
I
is.
love Saw, though.
I do too.
Oh my god, we need some help.
We're gonna seriously.
But yeah, besides Allie's death, I think the coroner's death was
Pretty hard.
pretty hard on me. Sienna and Jonathan's mom's death was
that
one low-key jump scare. But I
it
knew
is
that
actually
man.
a little bit of a jump scare. We were like, what the fuck?
We saw it coming.
Yeah, we kind of did with like
But-
from the minute that she went into the garage, I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
in there. But I thought it was even more worse when he sat her down at the fucking table, and he was
Mashed
so
potatoes.
He's so mean.
He's
so
so
mean.
mean.
Doing it in front of her son.
Yeah.
That was awful. One of the kills that was in this film that made me like, honestly, I felt pretty uncomfy. I didn't shy away from it, so I didn't like close my eyes and like not watch it, but I did feel like a little bit like oh my god, like ooh, was for me it was Art shooting the kids in the dream scene where he just fucking lets a gun rip.
Let me tell you something. When I saw that scene, in my mind I was like, shit. I was like, this is pretty.
No, and it
you
was
know.
adorable because it was Art. Because I was like, he throws the gun afterwards, and I was like, whatever.
Well, I think it was pretty bold to put something like that nowadays.
With more recent
Yeah,
things happening. Well, that's what I was
but-
saying. That I was like, I'm not going to lie. Living in America, I was a little triggered.
Yeah.
and it brought back very just very quickly the little pinch of anxiety that I
Yeah.
get about going to like things with a really big crowd. But I digress. And I'm only doing that because I know that this was fictional.
yeah,
And
it
that
was.
I hope that they kind of understand maybe
That
like by
scene
putting that
was-
scene in this movie was a little bold.
Was something else.
That was my jump scare.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
So I just had to throw that out there because I was like, I didn't shy away from anything from this movie, but it was that I was like, sorry, I don't want to watch this. We don't technically see Jeff die because he just leaves him there, but I'm going to assume he just bleeds to death
Dude.
because he ripped
Just the tip.
just the tip. He ripped that shit out. He had it going for himself though. What is it? Like he foreshadowed his own death, which is so funny.
Yeah.
So
Although, not really talking about Jeff. Can we talk about how bad of a friend Brooke is for putting fucking
Brooke is pretty bad.
drugs?
Yeah, she
I'm
put
like,
drugs in her.
Dude, Sienna's already taking medication.
Yeah, and she was like, I didn't know you were on
I didn't
Xanax. I'm like,
know.
yeah, but she's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wrong of her
Yeah.
to do that.
Although I will say, I did think they were gonna kiss.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
did.
if it was the
That little
BBG in
moment.
me, but-
Same. I think that little moment that they had where they were just talking to each other while they were both high on shit on Molly, they got very close.
They got very
And
close.
I was
and
like,
I looked at Monica and I was like, they're gonna kiss.
and I was like, yeah.
They did not.
They didn't.
They did not.
Spoiler, they didn't.
Spoiler.
Spoiler, they didn't.
All right. Well, getting a little bit closer to the end, I think now is a good time to play a little
Would you rather? Yeah.
So, for this one, would you rather be Art's sidekick, basically kind of like the little pale girl,
Yeah.
or would you rather be the final girl, basically kind of like Sienna, and, Art kind of targets you, and y'all are kind of fighting and all of that?
Fighting it, fist fighting it, fist bumping it.
Yeah. Basically, sidekick or final girl?
Ooh, sidekick.
Really?
I'm gonna go with sidekick. I think I would like to know.
What goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, like what's his What's his skincare routine?
Okay.
Does he take off the mask?
What's his makeup routine?
Not the mask, but like, does he take off the face? Like, the makeup. Or does he have glorious skin underneath all that white makeup?
Is it even makeup?
Does he have multiple costumes of the same one?
Yeah. Or is it just that one, and that's why he has to wash him? You know what I mean? Either way.
Exactly.
Does he just have those one pair of shoes?
Does he have just the one pair of shoes?
Does
Like,
he have
I
a red
want
pair?
like, do you have a red pair? Do you have a yellow pair? I need to know. I need to know these things. And I want to see how far I can get until he maybe turns on me. Because I'm pretty sure he's crazy enough to be like,
I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, like, I'm done having you.
Yeah.
So.
You were fun.
Yeah.
I think I'd be the final girl, actually.
The final girl?
Yeah. Again, I say this in every episode. I think I would like to see how far I can get.
It's the God complex in you.
in attempting to fight him off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I'd be the final girl.
Okay. I love.
Yeah.
That one was good. I like that one. It got me thinking, but I'm like, I just love Art too much. I think I'd want to be by his side.
I feel that.
And if he kills me, he kills me.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Alrighty, well, it looks like we're at the end of the episode, but before we go, let's go ahead and rate this movie. Again, we have 2 scales for scary movies. We have a satisfactory scale and a scary scale. Just because a movie is scary doesn't always mean that it's good. So, just go first.
Scary scale.
Scary scale.
So one scary scale.
Scary scale.
So one thing, personally, this is just me, Jessica, talking.
It's a 0 out of 10.
It's a 0 out of 10.
I hated this movie.
Worst movie ever. No, so for me, scary and gore are not the same.
Right.
This movie was gory. Mm-hmm. However, scary-wise, I'm gonna have to give it, again, I feel like I need to say this again. Scary and gory.
No one's gonna judge you.
You never know. Scary and gory do not always mean the same thing. Scary, I'm gonna have to give it a good 5 out of 10.
Okay.
5, 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some good jump scares, and obviously the thought of getting, oh my god.
There's definitely a difference between horror and terror, and I think, again, I said it with the first film, is that this movie does really good with terror, because it makes you want to be scared of the things that could happen, and Art is definitely one of those.
100%.
So, yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. But go ahead.
Scary scale, a good 5, 6 out of 10. Again, pretty good jump scares. The thought of, getting killed the way that he kills is terrifying. Satisfactory scale. Come on. I have not been able to stop thinking about this movie.
Me either. I dreamt about it the other night.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
The morning after we watched it, I woke up thinking about it, but not in like a scared way. More just like how
excited.
Awe,
oh my
God.
They really did that.
Yeah. Obviously, 10 out of 10. Honestly, BMS. Breaks my scale.
Honestly, same. I love this film too.
Yeah.
My scary scale, mine's more of like a 7 out of 10. I wasn't genuinely scared of like the entire thing. If anything, I was very excited. I was too excited to watch the film that I couldn't let terror or horror or anything like sit with me. So I wasn't like scared of it. But I mean, I know gore isn't necessarily like if your movie is just going to be gore, or if it's just going to be jump scares, or if you're going to take one of the elements of horror and just kind of use it throughout the whole film, it can easily be overdone, if that makes sense. But I think with this film, it really helps that Art is funny, and like Art is the clown that he is, and then we now have protagonists that we kind of have to evaluate, from coming from Terrifier 1 and things like that. So I had a really fun time doing all of that. So I didn't really give myself enough time to be scared. Again, it was just that one scene of the killing with him shooting that I was like, ooh, it made me feel a type of way. So I kind of took that and just kind of took it with every other kill. So mine's more of a 7 out of 10. As far as a satisfactory scale, same. Mine's break my scale. Mine's a 10 out of 10. I will be talking about this movie for the rest of my life. which something that David had mentioned, and if you guys are interested, David and I think Damien, both of them are trying to film a different type of horror film for like starting next year, but they don't have the full budget that they need right now, so they have somewhere, I think David has a link on his Instagram where you can actually donate to them so where they can get started on this, and that's actually how they funded Terrifier 2. Yeah. And with the budget that he literally got from fans, he took it and he ran with it and he made this, and I think that's so great, and I think it's phenomenal. I will be donating $1 million. $1
million?
Yeah.
Okay.
David is actually going to be the Grinch in a horror movie.
One? I was going to mention that too.
Yes, this Christmas, and I'm so excited.
So we'll definitely be covering that one too.
Oh, 100%, and I will be asking him about it as well.
We're excited to see what they do in the future, even if it's together or separate, whatever. I think both David and Damien, and heck, even Lauren and Elliot, and Kaylee and Casey and Amy,
everyone
and
that was involved in this
Felicia
film.
Rose, who
love her.
We've been knowing since
all of other
camp.
films,
But excited to see where everyone goes. And I know it's from here. It's gonna from here on up.
It's just up. It's just up for them, and I'm. All right, guys, so that concludes our episode. So if you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to our other episodes if you haven't already, as well as follow us on social medias, which will be in the description for this episode. Jessica, would you like to tell these horror freaks what we will be discussing next week?
Of course. Are you guys ready? Can I get a drum roll, please? Barbarian. The one that just came out literally like a month or two ago.
Yeah, like a month ago.
It was a good movie, and it was definitely a movie.
It was a movie.
It was a movie.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too.
We know we're a little late covering it, but we both watched it, and it's the one movie that
we kind of keep going back on, or we're like, oh, I remember this scene, I remember that, and I think I liked it.
They just put it on HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken.
They just put it on HBO Max.
We will
they did.
watch it again.
So
maybe.
100%.
And make sure that we get some good scenes in there as well.
I'm so excited. I like Barbarian.
Me too.
Justin Long.
Justin Long, I love you.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Skarsgård.
Like literally everyone in this film was great. So we'll unpack that.
Yes. Again, before we leave, Terrifier 2, great movie. Proud. Love you guys.
Love you guys so much. If you haven't watched it, watch the first one if you haven't already, and then go and indulge and watch the second one, because when I tell you that these guys are making history, and you guys who are able to watch it in theaters will be glad. Yeah. Even if you think that you didn't like the film, you will be able to say you at least watched it in theaters. Yeah. I'm excited.
But guess what?
Until then. Stay safe and stay spooky.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.